All right, so welcome to Make Orientation a Want To, Not a Have To. This experience was designed specifically for you by me and the team at Collegiate Empowerment. You'll see the logo on my shirt as well. This is going to be a high energy experience, so be prepared to participate. We're going to play some games. We're going to get some participation in there to make the learning easy. And then there's going to be some real impact. There's going to be stuff that you learn here and now that you can use tomorrow. You can use it later to create a great virtual or remote or online experience for whomever you're with. So if you hate lectures, you're going to love this. We're going to start with a demo. So first, right now, you know this, we know this, everyone knows this. The world is so different now than it used to be. It started with, there was an impeachment in the beginning of the year, and then the coronavirus took over, and then the murder hornets, and then the racial divide. So there are a lot of things going on right now that have put us in the situation that we're in. We have to be aware that whatever happens in the world around us, it does impact every day. It impacts each and every one of us. You may know someone who's been impacted either by the racial divide or by the coronavirus or for some other thing going on in the world, because there's going to be something. We still have 6 more months left in the year, folks. This is just the beginning. I should say this is just the first half. So really what I want to share with you is this idea. Make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails as it has over and over and over again this year, and then throw away the plan. The plan is nothing, planning is everything. Right? So the first quote is by a fictional character, a completely made up character on the Flash TV show that I watch with my kids. Captain Cold said, make the plan, execute the plan. So you come up with your plan, this is what's happening, you're gonna build a plan for summer orientation, you're gonna start working on that plan, and then expect the plan to go off the rails. And then throw away the plan, but the point is, the plan is nothing, planning is everything. The fact that you are taking the time right now, that is everything, and it's gonna show. Are you gonna be a pro next week? Probably not. Are you gonna be a master? It doesn't matter. Nobody's looking for perfection right now. Everyone's trying to learn this thing that we call Zoom and video conferencing, Microsoft Teams or Skype or Google Hangouts. We're all trying to figure this stuff out together. Not me, as Jan said, I've been doing this since 2013. So throw away the plan, we have a new plan. Now you're an orientation leader. Here's what leadership needs to be. You can read it along with me. It's the art of inspiring people, the science of empowering people, and the business of preparing people, right? So you've got inspiring, empowering, and preparing. Those are your 3 jobs right now. You got to get people excited. You got to get people empowered, right? So they're inspired, they're excited, they want to do something. They're empowered, they can do it, and they're prepared. They have all the tools and everything that you need. So that's my job today. Inspired, empowered, and prepared to take ownership. Hit that space bar. Everybody say ownership on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ownership.
That was really good. Ownership, right? To make decisions, take collaborative action towards a greater vision that we are collectively creating to help people for their full potential. Thereby, they become better leaders in the process. They become you in the future. That's what our job is right here, right now. We have to inspire people, get them excited. Because yes, this is probably your 45th Zoom meeting over the last 3 months, right? So Christopher's saying yes, right? Well, guess what? It's like my 180th. So let's get used to it. We don't know where we're gonna be. So throw away the plan. This is how we're gonna operate. So let's find a way to inspire those through this medium that we're all connecting with right now. Let's empower them so they feel ready and prepared so they can do it. But what are we planning for? We got the Peacock prep session coming up next week. We got orientation leader small groups. We got self-paced orientation course, financial aid individual meets, that's Google Meets, and then the topical sessions that you'll be leading in about a month or so, right? Make some visual noise or putting something on the screen so you know I'm with you and you're with me. All right, love that. So here's what we need to do to get ready. First, we got to create a space. Right now we're creating a virtual space, a digital space to engage, right, for both students and families. For one, to build connections. So you're going to have a chance to do that today. So you'll see how I do it, just mimic it. Gain confidence, right, so they feel like, oh, I made the right choice. Share their feelings and ask questions. You got to let people have a chance to share and connect as well, as we'll do today. And then find their reason to stay. right? Because right now it's really easy to say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't go to college. Maybe I should take a break. Maybe I should go to a community college. Maybe I should go travel and just use my time to get away. Maybe I should go be a hermit crab in the mountains. I don't know, right? But we have to give them their reason. You're part of their reason. Yes, the curriculum's part of it too, but I know you got a life outside the classroom, right? You got your education, not just a degree. We got to help students do that, and the families connect to it as well. All right. So pre-2020 college success looked a little different than it does right now, right? You go to class, you get there on time, sit towards the front, stay late, review your notes before and after class, study a lot, understand the syllabus, do your assignments on time, ask professors and classmates about missed assignments, get to know your professors, meet with your advisors, schedule appointments with career services, have enough underwear so you don't have to do laundry for 2 weeks, take care of your body, exercise, eat right, make positive friends, get involved, add leadership to your resume, avoid too much mac and cheese and ramen noodles, improve your basic skills of reading and math, find ways to stay motivated, set learning goals, set career goals, practice good time management, stay organized, and stop texting your roommate when they're right next to you. That was before 2020, so take a breath with me because I need it. Okay, now 2020 and beyond, I don't know. I don't have an answer. I know you don't have an answer. I know the administrators don't have an answer. We don't know where things are going to go. So make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan. The plan is nothing. Planning is everything, right? So you've got your plan, and maybe you have a script for how you're going to do this. But think about it this way, and take yourself off mute for a moment. If your delivery sucks, let's be honest. If your delivery sucks, if you're like, oh, I'm trying to read this script and it's not working, or I'm not able to like feel who I am and be genuine on screen, is the plan and the script going to work if the delivery sucks? Yes or no?
No.
No.
No, right? What if the venue, which is what we're using right now, is Zoom or technology? What if you can't get your technology right and you can't figure out how to use that? Again, not master it. If you can't figure out how to use it or you can't help others, does the script or plan matter? No or no?
No.
No.
No, right? What if you can't make that connection with the audience? Does the script or plan work? No or no?
No.
No, right? So what we call educational performance is, yeah, you're going to have your plan, you're going to have your script, you're going to know what you want to say, but you got to get the delivery right, right? Notice I'm standing. We do not sit down on stage. I mean, maybe for a moment to connect, right? But we're presenting. So we're going to ask that you present as well. You got to get the venue and tech right, so we're going to focus on that a little bit, and we got to make sure that you can engage with the audience. That's why we're here, right? So if you hate lectures, you're going to love this. We're going to do the same kind of experience we would in person. We're going to have some what? Everyone say fun.
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 Some what? Say stop.
Fun.
And then feel how. Everyone say empowered.
Empowered.
Power.
I love it. Now, just as we would if we were in a real live session, I'm going to ask you to put your stuff down. Even if you've got, cords in your ears, stand up to the best of your ability. If you are able, stand up, go ahead. You need to adjust the angle of your computer. Don't worry about it. We got to get ready for this. We got to get physically engaged. Again, if you are able to stand in whatever space you're in, please do so. All right. I have stopped the screen share, so you've got gallery view. You can see everybody. Put your hands up, all the way up. Let me see everybody. Yes. All right, stretch to your left. Get a good stretch in there. You've been on Zoom all day. Get a good stretch. Your other left. Come on now. All right, stretch to your right. Get a good stretch in there. It feels good, right? I've been digging a hole in my backyard. I need this. Stretch all the way back. On the count of 3, give me a big moan. 1, 2, 3. Oh. All right. Unmute yourself real quick. Click that unmute button. I can't unmute you all because of consent issues, so just click unmute. Turn on your microphone. Point to yourself. Say, I now commit 100%.
I know.
I'll commit 100%.
Love it. Say, I will apply what I learn.
I will apply
What I learn.
I'm going to have a great time no matter how I feel.
I'm
gonna
have a great time
no matter how I feel.
Look at somebody else on screen and say, you're going to have a great time too.
You're going to have a great time too.
Love that. So here's what I want you to do. Shake your body out. Do whatever kind of stretch or movement you need to do. I know for me, I got to stretch my core. So do what you need to do. Take a few seconds, do that. And then Give everybody a virtual high five. Go ahead, virtual high fives for everybody. This one's for you, Christopher and David and Ashley. Yes, Kiara and Leslie. Kimberly, there you go. Boom. All right, go ahead, have a seat. Have a seat, feeling a little bit better, a little bit more energized. Steven's giving us the applause. Love it. All right. So now what I want you to do is hop into the chat box. So open that up. You can also make sure that it stays connected to your Zoom box instead of in front of it. It's all in the settings, the way you look at it. And I want you to write down 1 or 2 things that make this session so far. We're 15 minutes in since we started. What makes this session unique compared to the typical? Maybe you've been to a couple webinars or some trainings, but what's making this experience feel like, hey, you know what? Virtual ain't so bad. So take a moment and do that now. All right. Kimberly's saying very interactive. All right, very interactive. Another one, it's engaging. Mulaney saying energetic, engaging, interacting. The session is unique because it's very interactive. Everyone's saying the same stuff. I don't feel bored. Oh, thank you, Christopher. The engagement, more interaction. Everyone's just like writing the same words. But isn't that the point? Because that's actually our marketing promise. It's going to be high energy, interactive, engaging, and fun. And look, we're saying it's interactive, it's engaging, it's fun, using all the words. Energy, using all the words that we promised, and I didn't even tell you that stuff. How intentional everything we are. Yes, this is all a demo. So you're probably making some notes right now for how you want to use this, right? So let me see. Justine, take yourself off mute if you aren't already. I see you there. So you said how intentional everything is that we're doing. Talk to us a little bit about that. What do you mean? You're on Spotlight. Everyone can see you.
I noticed. I was like, by that I meant you already started talking about how we want to make the students and their parents and family members feel by attending this virtual session, which is completely different than in person, but still making them feel welcome, comfortable, that we care, making sure our delivery is impactful. So it's already intentional and it's just a start.
Love that. Appreciate that. Let's give some applause to Justine. Love it. Let's see. We got 17 more messages below this. There are also jokes, so it makes it fun and comfortable. Leslie, take yourself off mute.
Hello.
Hello, Leslie. Talk to me about that. There's jokes and it makes it fun and comfortable. Tell us more.
I just think that when you were telling us what the plan was before 2020, you popped in some jokes there, and I thought that was really nice because you can relate to us, and it just makes us laugh and makes us feel like we're all there in person. So it makes it a better environment.
Love it. Now, so my ask of everyone is, if you don't have any background noise, please keep your microphones on, because if my jokes are funny, I'd love to hear somebody laugh at them. That would be great. Love it. Thanks for sharing, Leslie. All right, let's see. Ricky, very thoughtful, very thoughtfully planned, high energy, and purposeful. Let's get the conversation going with you as the final one. Talk to us about it being thoughtfully planned, high energy, and purposeful.
Yeah, I think it's thoughtfully planned out in terms of how you lead the dialogue and discussion, and you want to make sure that everyone is included as much as you can, right? If everyone has the access to the video, you're getting everyone involved. You're making sure that you're addressing all their names and using their names correctly and how they want it to be said. I think it's very intentional with the delivery, having everyone get up and there's a purpose for it, getting everyone up, high energy, let's stretch, let's get active. Kind of draws attention to staying focused and remaining alert for your body. When you're warm, you're able to move about and create that motion for yourself. So definitely think it's thoughtful, definitely think it's intentional, definitely think it's high energy.
Love that. And I love the summary. Well done. Fantastic. Right, so that's the point. And I hope you're already catching a couple things here that you can already bring into your orientation meetings and any kind of virtual experience or virtual training, right? That's what this is about, right? So now I'm going to share my screen. We're going to pop back in and we're going to talk a little bit about the mindset so that we can get ready for this experience, all right? So first, you've heard this phrase, college is the best 4 years of your life. Well, again, if your microphones are on, if college was the best 4 years of your life, the next or rest of your life would what?
Suck.
I'm hearing several people say suck at the same time. It was just drawn out. Yeah, keep your microphones on. We're gonna talk. So now I gotta help you and you gotta help me and we gotta do some magic together. So use your hands in this one. You gotta wave your left hand at the screen a little bit because we're gonna change this word a little bit. All right, so if the magic works, come on now, come on. Okay, oh, hey, we got that. We're moving some pieces here. Create another letter, switching some letters around, and then do that. You gotta do this one. Boom, oh yeah, college is the first 4 years of your life. See, college is not the best, it's the what?
First.
First 4 years of your life, where a college student decides who they want to be, what they want from the world, what they're going to give back to the world. They start thinking about their vision, their bigger purpose, their career, where they want to go. Before that, we don't always or even intentionally do that. So this is a chance for people to really define who they want to be. And guess what? You get to make, you get to create, you get to help transform that first impact with first-year students. That's your job as a community builder. That's what we do. We build community, connection, confidence. Your purpose is to increase engagement and, yes, recruitment, morale, communication, and retention. So you got a really big job ahead of you. But if you get people engaged, it makes the rest of it easier. So take 10 seconds, solve this maze now. If you've been with me already, you know the answer. Can you solve this maze, yes or no?
No.
No.
No. So put your hands up if you realize immediately there is no exit to this maze. All right, put your hand up if you're still trying to get through the maze right now, you're making lefts and rights. Okay, just a good split. Now, no matter what decisions you make, let alone in your life or for orientation planning, right? It doesn't matter if you don't have the finish. If there's no finish in this maze, doesn't matter what decisions you make. Same goes for your life. So you've got to have that vision. You got to have the purpose, a sense of direction. Leadership starts with your what? Everyone say vision.
Vision.
I know you got to say it like you're me. Come on, leadership starts with your vision.
Vision.
Love that. See, you got to. If I'm going to bring the energy, you're going to bring the energy. This is all practice, right? It's a demo. So, how do you feel right now? Once again, I want you to take a few moments before you start typing. I just want you to think. With the coronavirus, with the racial divide, with the murder hornets, maybe in our area, maybe not, with whatever might happen and whatever has already happened. Take a few seconds to think right now, how do you feel right now where you are in your world and in your life, and put those in the chat box. But take 15, 20 seconds and think about it. How do you really feel? Think about that now. All right, so I love the honesty here. I'm seeing some really good stuff in here. Tired and sad, exhausted, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Tired and worried, overwhelmed, helpless, tired, angry, annoyed, overwhelmed, okay, confused, overwhelmed, scared, tired as hell. The world is coming to an end. I want to make a difference and help, but I don't know how. I just want to take the pain away, but I don't know how. Overwhelmed. Look at these responses. Almost all of them have the same kind of feelings and thoughts in common. We are feeling tired. We are feeling scared. We are overwhelmed. So think about the first year students. You think they feel the same way? Yes or yes? Yeah, absolutely yes, right? I'm with you, Leslie. I feel angry too. We had that conversation with our team last week about all the feelings that we are feeling, and I'm very rageful, actually, because of George Floyd and everything else. That was just kind of the tipping point. But yeah, I hear you. I feel you. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. So if this is the way you're feeling right now, we have to think about the way the first year students are feeling. I want to give you a couple of recommended actions here. So take a note, write these down. Again, this is being recorded so you can come back to it. If you're not taking a note and you want to take a screenshot or a picture of this when you're done, please, by all means, do that. And if you are making some noise in the background, go ahead and just turn yourself on mute. Looks like somebody's doing a little bit of a paper shuffle there. All right, so first recommended action. Think about how you feel right now as you reflect on the world's current events. So take more than just these 15 seconds and do that, because you got to know how you feel. Secondly, connect with 10 others. It's, yes, a random number, but connect with 10 others and ask them how they feel. Right now, you just asked 20 other people how they feel, right? So you already got a head start. Next, decide how you want first-year students to think and feel as they engage with the university. So basically, we're saying, what is your vision? How do you want them to think and feel in their relationship with you? And then lastly, declare your vision for culture and community that you want to create for first-year students. If you don't have that finish or that exit out of that maze, it doesn't matter what decisions you make. All right? So think about how you feel right now, connect with others, ask them how they feel, decide how you want students to feel, and then create the culture and the community that you think will be able to help those students feel and think in those ways. Again, similar to the way we're doing it in here. All right? So tap your head and say mindset.
Mindset.
All right, some of you are on mute and you're just talking to yourself. It's all right, we forgive you. That's right, Ashley, I'm looking at you. All right, so here's the key insight. The experience is great not because of you. It's great because it's an experience. So think about that play on words. The experience is not great because of you. It's great because you make it an experience where they connect, where it's intentional, where it's engaging, where it's high energy, all the things that you just shared with me. All right? So take a breath. Now, how do you do that? You're going to need some skills. What's the skill set? We're going to play a little game here called Grow Longer. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can, on gallery view, see everyone. On the top right, you'll see gallery view as an option. Go ahead, turn that one on so you can see. We're going to play a little game here. Like I said, we're going to play some games. So put your stuff down, shake your hands out, go blah, 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 blah. Go ahead, unmute yourself. Come on, so many of you are muted. No, we're talking today. We're having a conversation. By the way, I'm not upset with you that I have to ask, but because this is a demonstration, remember that when you're in these virtual meetings, you're going to have to ask people over and over and over and over to turn on their video and or unmute themselves so you can have a real conversation. All right, so say blah, 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 blah. All right, you'll see right here, there's a line, right? I'm going to call that your wrist line because I'm not a bio major. I want you to put your hands together and I want you to line those lines up so that they are exactly touching and make a V with your hands. All right, so it'll look like this. Got it? Now, slowly roll your hands together and you might see one of two things. One of your hands or fingers might be taller than the other. Say, if that's you. Okay. And say, I'm perfect if your hands are the same size.
Perfect.
All right. So we want to get to everyone being perfect right now. Of course, I'm joking. And we're all imperfect. But there's some magic that we can play here. So we're going to do magic for the second time during this session. So pick that hand that is shorter or smaller that you're looking at, and I want you to hold that in front of you. If you happen to be quote unquote perfect, just pick a hand and look at that hand. And yes, this might seem weird, but I want you to look at your hand and I want you to say, grow longer.
Grow longer.
You know, this is not some joke. This is magic. It doesn't work unless you believe it. Look at your hand and say, grow longer.
Grow longer.
Say, grow longer.
Grow longer.
You can do this.
You can do this.
Grow longer.
Grow longer.
Now, one more time in your best Mickey Mouse voice, say, grow longer.
Grow longer.
All right, good stuff. Shake it out. Line them up again, just as you did before. Put those lines together. Put them exactly where they were before. And then slowly roll your hands together. And if one of your hands is taller or shorter or something moved and changed than it did before, say, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at your faces. You're like, all right. Think about what just happened here. Why did that happen? You're all off mute. So Daniela, what just happened? Why are you like, what just happened?
I don't know, but I know one of my fingers grew a little bit longer.
It didn't. It didn't. And by the way, I realized we got two Danielas in here, one with one L, one with two L's. Daniela with two L's, how about you?
Yeah, no, one of my fingers grew too. I believe it, 100%.
No, it didn't grow.
I'm pretty sure it did. I spoke to my hand. It said it grew.
How about you, Asley? What happened with you?
My hand stayed the same.
They stayed the same. So what, you don't believe in magic?
It's not that I don't believe in magic. I just didn't think it would grow.
You didn't believe in yourself. Ooh, maybe we can go really deep with this or not.
Maybe.
The point is, you experience the world the way you think about it. So because you were looking and focusing on your hand, at least about 70% of us, from what I can see in the video, 70% of you got really intentional, told your hand to grow longer because you were believing it, the way you lined it up and the way you stretched it and the way you held it there made it seem as if it grew longer. Daniela and Daniela, it did not. Okay, but it seems that way because the way you think about the world is the way you perceive it. Does that make sense? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. The way you experience the world is the way you think about it. So I'm going to put that up on the screen so you can see that. All right. The way you experience the world is the way you think about it. Experience the world the way you think about it. It works both ways. So we have to change the way we think about creating these virtual experiences. By the way, again, all of this is a demonstration. Do you see how I'm calling each of your names to connect with you and make sure that we have, you know, that conversation? This is what I ask of you to create a great experience for the students that you're supporting. So all of this is context. Not the content that matters, it's the context. For example, we're going to pour the content into the glass, but each person's context is the glass. That glass is going to receive the content differently than everyone else. For instance, just like we had the conversation just 5 minutes ago about how you're thinking and feeling right now, when someone walks in and their grandparent just died, or they can't get their dog to quiet down because something's happening outside, doesn't that change the way you participate in a virtual experience? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? So it's not the content, it's the context. For example, tell me how you respond to this. Man killed dog. How do you respond? What do you say? Is that sad?
Do that.
Right? That's no good news in my book. But let me add some context to it. Man killed dog attacking baby. Does that add a little bit? Like maybe you're now conflicted. What should I feel sad about? Or maybe that person's a hero, right? Man killed dog attacking baby. Baby started it. You can't help but laugh. It's still sad, but look what just happened. It is not the content. Forget your content. Forget what you're going to say. It's the delivery. It's the venue and the tech and the engagement with the audience. If you're with me, say I'm with you, Joe.
Chris.
With you.
I'm with you, Joe.
All right?
I'm with
So
you, Joe.
Love it. So the brutal reality is this. It's all about context, right? What's in it for me? That's the radio station we're all listening to. You're listening to it right now. WIIFM. What's in it for me? Is this going to be helpful for you? What are you going to learn? Are you going to have fun? Is this going to be interesting? What are you going to be able to pull away? Can you use this immediately? Are you going to be able to use it next week? Will you be prepared? That's all the stuff, all the context that makes you, you. So we have to be able to answer those questions for the students and professionals, the families that we serve over the coming weeks and months and 6 months, maybe a year. We'll see. It's not about the agenda. It's not about your plan. It's not about your script. It's about the relationship. Everybody, if you're off mute, say relationship.
Relationship.
Say it's not about the agenda.
It's not about the agenda.
It's about the relationship.
It's about
It's about
the
the
relationship.
Right, that wasn't in unison at all, but it's still acceptable. It's all right. So I'm going to give you 3 skills for what we call debriefing magic. Third time we're playing magic today, all right? This is what we call validate, evaluate, and extrapolate. Extrapolate is not a word that people use, but we're going to start using it. So you want to be able to validate the response. Whatever you're hearing in that conversation when you go, I don't know how to respond to that. First, validate it. Don't make them wrong. Appreciate that they're connecting with you. Appreciate that they want to have a conversation. Appreciate that they're interacting. Or you can validate and say, I totally understand how you feel. I get that you feel, and if I was in your position, I'd probably feel the same way, right? You use something like that if someone's, and I say this because my colleague's grandmother just died. I totally get how you feel. When my grandmother passed, I was just as sad and I didn't want to do anything for a week. So if you don't want to work for a week, that's fine, I get it. I was there, right? So don't make anybody wrong, validate it. Secondly is evaluate. You want to evaluate what it means. So what are they saying? What are they sharing? What does it mean to them? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to the entire group, right? As we continue to debrief and have engaging conversations. And then the last piece is extrapolate. What does it mean to extrapolate? Just pull stuff from, right? So you want to extrapolate insights and actions. Okay, so what are we learning in the conversation and what do we do about it? So we want to validate, evaluate, and extrapolate. Everyone say validate.
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 Evaluate.
Evaluate.
And extrapolate at the same time.
Extrapolate.
That was terrible. All right, we all have different internet connections. We're sending this stuff to the sky, it's coming back down, and it's instantaneous. Is this not magical to begin with? It's amazing. We could never do this 15 years ago. This is amazing. I don't know where you're at with it, but can't take it for granted. I can take advantage of it, but I'm not going to take it for granted. So if you want to if you want to debrief that tough conversation, first validate. What are they saying? Don't make them wrong. Second, evaluate what it means. And then extrapolate insights and actions, what they can do with it further. Right? So that's going to be some good stuff, good debriefing. So you have a really great conversation. And you've seen me do it here already. I put some of you on video and I'm doing that. I'm validating and saying, oh, that's a great response. Tell me what that means, right? And then extrapolate. So now what do we do with it? Is this good stuff? Yes or yes?
Yes.
See, I'm not even giving you any options. All right, the key insight here is you still have to be your genuine best self. Notice I'm not saying authentic, because you might say, well, my authentic self is quiet and shy and I don't want to be in front of a computer screen. I don't care. I want you to be genuine, but you got to get in front of a computer screen, right? Be the best version of yourself, not just the authentic version, because your authentic version might be lazy today. Be the best version of yourself. If you're with me on that, give me an oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, love that. So now let's talk about the design. We've got your mindset. We've got the skill set. Now, how do we put it together? How do we design this experience? Take a breath with me. Ready? Let me say it if I get it right. Kayla, Lisa, are you ready?
Yeah.
David, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do it. When you teach a lot, people learn a little. When you teach a little, people learn a lot. I'm going to say that several times. I want you to really get this. Do not try to cram stuff in your session. You have an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, whatever that time is, 45 minutes, however long you plan it. Do not cram. When you teach a lot of things, people learn very little. They don't remember as much. They get overwhelmed, and people are already overwhelmed. Our job is to make this simple and easy. When you teach a little, people learn a lot. So teach a lot, learn a little, teach a little, learn a what?
A lot.
All right, love it. So here's how I suggest that we do this. This is what we created this 20 years ago, I guess. This is what we call the learn, say, do, reflect model. Everyone say learn.
Learn.
Say.
Say.
Do.
Do.
And reflect.
Reflect.
All right. It's that simple. You only need to remember these 4 words, but I'm going to take you through it over the next couple of minutes, and then we'll do something with it. So there's a couple of ways that you can get people to learn in what we call the LSDR model. By the way, you got to have the reflection in there. You got to plan it, because if you don't have the reflection, if you don't have the R, this is the LSD model, and this is not about drugs. So please make sure you put in the reflect. How do we make sure people learn? So many different ways. Concepts, I mean, you can read it. Statistics, pictures, graphics, questions, metaphors, stories, quotes, video, music, humor, personal relevance. cause effect, I'm reading out of order because I'm not looking at my screen perspective, and then tapping into their internal motivations. That's easy, but all of that still makes it a lecture. Okay, are you with me on that? There's so many different ways that you can get people to learn something. But now we want to make it, you said this was engaging, it was fun, right? It was interactive. How do we do that? It's got to be a conversation. Say, callbacks for clarification, journaling for self-reflection, small group shares for making sense of ideas, and large group shares for examples. We have already done several of these. A callback for clarification is when you ask someone to repeat something. So if I said, everyone say LSDR.
LSDR.
That's a callback, right? So now it's not just me saying it, but it's you saying it. By the way, I did this, you see my hands, so you know I'm asking you to participate, right? Then there's journaling for self-reflection. I've asked you to take some of your own notes, right? And take some pictures of things. You got to make sure you get some of your thoughts out of your head and onto paper or digital paper. You can type these out, that's fine. Then small group shares for making sense of ideas. We're going to do that in a moment with a breakout session. And then large group shares for examples. I called up 3 of you to share with us what you meant, right? So that's how you make it a conversation. A callback is also everyone stands up and stretch to the left, to the right. Like that's like a physical callback, if you will. Christopher's doing it now. See? Love it. Then there's do, right? So that bleeds right into the stand up and stretch. You want to create a spectacle or a wow moment. We've done magic 3 times. We're only 45 minutes into this sucker. Create spectacle and wow moments by engaging the senses and the emotions, whether it's exercises or games or role play, simulations, brainstorming, pop projects, pop quizzes, and tools. There's so many different ways that you can do it. You can steal the ones we're doing. The grow longer hand exercise, really simple. If you want at least half of your audience to go, whoa, that's a spectacle. It's a wow moment. It's not going to work for everybody, right? It's all context, but it works for a lot of people. And then lastly is reflect. This is where you review, you analyze, rationalize, and synthesize, meaning, again, pulling stuff together with yourself, with partners, with teams, to reinforce learning, to connect to prior experiences, and turn insights to action. So we have the LSDR model. Everyone say learn.
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 Say.
Say.
Do.
Do.
And
Reflect.
all right. If you're with me on this, what we're going to do now is put you into breakout rooms so that you can apply it. So take a look at this screen. You got the screen disappears when you go into a breakout room. So I want you to just take a look at it right now. And if you've got 1 hour, think about 3 ways, 3 tactics in learn here. At least 3 or 4. I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. 3 outcomes. So what is it that you want to accomplish in the hour? What's one earth-shattering tool or idea or some takeaway? And then how can you teach that thing in 4 tactics, whether it's you share a concept or you share statistics or pictures, right? I'm sharing with you as my example of this is a demonstration, right? Metaphors. So find a way to do that in a couple different ways. When it's say, include at least 1 callback, 1 moment to journal, 1 small group share, and 1 large group kind of, hey, let's get a couple of the people to share a little bit more. Have 2 per hour to do, to do. I'm entertaining myself here. So we stood up, we stretched, right? We did that, then we did grow longer. So we're 40 something minutes in and we did 2 do activities, spectacles. And then lastly, reflect. Make sure you give people at the end of every hour 3 or 4 minutes. If it's a whole day, it's 30 minutes, right? But 3 or 4 minutes just to sit with their thoughts. So take a look at the screen, take a screenshot of it, take a picture of it. What I'm gonna do is set us up into breakout rooms so that we can have this conversation with some other people who are here, all right? So again, study the screen, take a picture of it, and we're gonna go into breakout rooms of about 3 or 4 people so that each of you has a chance to share and connect. If you are not on video, but you can speak, then go ahead and open up your microphone. If you're unable to do it that way, you can always chat with people in the chat box. But I'm telling you, when you go into the breakout room, you won't be able to see the screen. So learn, say, do, reflect, memorize it. And you've got 5 seconds to do that, because I'm going to send you into very randomly assigned breakout rooms so that you can connect with each other. And by the way, if you try to leave the breakout room, you're never going to get back in. So we've learned that. I don't know why it's weird. It's like, that wouldn't be a thing in real life. If I leave a breakout room, I can come back, right? That doesn't happen here in Zoom. So at least for the time being, if you go in the breakout room, get that conversation started. But you're probably wondering, well, who talks first? The person with the next birthday, of course. That's how we do it, right? So if you've got a birthday in early June or late June or July or August, say, hey, I've got an early birthday. I'm ready to go. Does anyone else have a soon birthday? Figure that out. Take 10 seconds. And that person with the first birthday is going to say, here's one way or two ways that I can apply the LSDR model. Does everyone feel good and comfortable and ready?
Sure.
Sure. We'll give it a shot, right? All right. I'll give you a heads up when there's about 2 minutes left, and then when there's 1 minute left. But I'll give you like 5 minutes to get this conversation started. We'll create the rooms, and you're going to be automatically popped in. Here we go. All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, let's go. we are coming back. Were all three of you in the same room?
Yeah.
We're
4.
just like, we're done here.
There was 4 actually.
Oh, 4. Oh, Steven, I hear you too. Your screen was black, so I didn't even see it there. Awesome. Awesome. How'd the conversation go?
It was good.
Got a
Productive.
couple ideas to play around with?
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. All right, as you come back in, you can take yourself off mute so we can get a couple examples. Again, that with the LSDR model, the last one is large group share. We're going to do that in a moment once we have everybody back. And we should have everybody back in less than 30 seconds. So we're glad you're here. Thanks for coming back, because that was your chance in breakout rooms, so just leave. All right, we are back. So here's who I'd love to hear from, someone I have not heard from yet. Let me see if I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it Shernia, who just went on mute? You got to unmute yourself.
It's Shernia.
Shernia, I was so wrong and you're so right. Shernia, please share with us, what was your big takeaway, your big insight? What's something that you can apply for the Learn, Say, Do, Reflect model?
In our break room group, is it called, right?
Breakout room,
We
yeah.
talked mostly about reflection and how it's very imperative through anything that we do, whether it be a session like this or whether you're going throughout your daily life. It's very important to know where to go and how it went for the past, the present, and the future.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Give Shania some applause or visual applause. All right, let's get one more person I have not yet heard from. See, everyone's wearing their hello, my name is Zoom name tag, so I get to do this, right? Let's see who has not talked yet. Is it Mulaney?
Hi.
Hi, you are sideways and crooked, but you're still here. We can see you and hear you.
Oh, okay.
Talk to us. What was your big insight? I'm going to look at you like this. What was your big insight or takeaway for the LSDR model?
Well, what we talked about was how one of the person that I was with said he was a visual learner. She was a visual learner, and it was like how you learn more visually seeing things than actually hearing it. Yeah, and then like we talked about the reflection and how like you get to learn the experience that you did.
Absolutely. Yeah, there are 3 kinds of learners. Thank you so much. I will share in a moment, but I want to make sure that you get your applause as well. Everyone for Mulaney. All right. So yes, there are 3 kinds of learners. Some people are visual, they have to see it. Some people are auditory, they have to hear it, and they can close their eyes and just listen to you. Some people are kinesthetic, that's a fancy word for they have to get into it, actually do it, and feel it, right? So we have to create the experience so that we touch each of those people in the way that makes sense to them. Again, not the content, but the context. All right, if you're with me, give me an oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, now, big insight here that we all need to know as you're kind of planning all of this time here is plan for 30 to 40 minutes of content for every hour. Why do I say that? Because if you are going to create context and an experience for people, you're going to need time for conversation, as we're doing here. Time for questions that come up, time for insights, time for things that people are going to share. Right? That is something that we're going to have to be able to do. You need to show us how to do the breakout room session. It's cool. I love that. I love that. That is something that you're going to have the chance to master over time. But let me ask and throw this over to Jan. Jan, is everyone equipped with the ability to do breakout rooms? That's a paid account.
Yeah, so the orientation coordinators will have that experience. So it'll be part of the experience, but not everybody will be able to set up their own break rooms.
Okay. All right, so for the orientation coordinators, and I know there's 4 of you on this call right here, right now, you'll have that option right on the bottom. You'll see the option for breakout rooms. Just click it, and then it will say, here's how many people are in the room. How many rooms would you like to create? And then you just click up, 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 up for 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will do the math for you and tell you how many people will be assigned to those rooms. Then it will give you options. So it's real simple. It's really intuitive. So it's awesome. So if you have the chance as an orientation coordinator to do it, set it up, but you have to tell people who speaks first, whoever has the next birthday. Otherwise, they're just going to look at each other like this. They'll do that. I promise you. I've been in these rooms. All right. If I don't talk first, nobody does. So you got to lead. All right. So now the tech, right? We're like breakout rooms. What? How do we use all this stuff? I've already taught you how to make some visual noise with your hands so that everyone can see. I give you this as a recommendation that you can get people visually, you know, and physically connected to you, right? So a really easy way of doing that is saying, hey, if you're excited to be here, put your hands up and shake your hand, say yeah. All right, Daniela, with 2 L's, you're not excited to be here?
Oh gosh, no.
Yeah, I can see you.
I didn't know we had to do it. I was like,
oh yeah, you got to do everything, everything. All right, then there's the reactions at the bottom. So you see at the bottom of your Zoom menu, you have a chance to create either a thumbs up or an applause. So everyone practice, put one of those up right now. All right, love that. See, real simple. So you can use that as an option.
How do you do it?
If you have Zoom open and you have it as full screen on the bottom menu, you'll see the icon that looks just like that circle face there with a plus. Boom. Love it. Love it. I don't use it so much because I like to get people to physically, you know, wave and applause, but you have that option. You also have the chat box, which you've seen us how to use, right? And you've all started taking the time to chant. The words are gone. You've all had the chance to write some thoughts in there. Yes, raising the hands. Also, Christopher, is something else that you can do. And not everyone can see it all the time unless you're on gallery view. It's harder when you're sharing your screen. But that is something else you could do. And then, of course, then the breakout rooms. So let me ask you this. Why did you participate? And I think everyone's had a chance to speak. If you haven't, make some noise and tell me, why did you participate so far today? Who's got something to say? Who wants to be the first to share? Say, I will.
I will.
All right, go ahead, please share.
So the reason why I decided to participate today is because we've all decided to commit to this. And the whole experience is about like engagement, and if we don't engage, at least even in training, how are we supposed to expect first year students to engage with us? So that's why I'm engaging.
Love it. And I appreciate it. And thank you to everyone, literally everyone, except Steven. I don't know if you are, but I'm assuming you are. I know we can't see your video at this point, but I bet $100 that you are engaging. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Love it, love it, love it. Thanks, Christopher. Who wants to be the second and last volunteer? Say, that's me. I can see all your names. Leslie.
I knew it.
You laughed, I heard you. It spotlighted you. Go ahead, Leslie. Why are you participating today?
Well, first of all, I'm participating because it's my duty to like interact with all of you, and also for you, Joe, because you're the main center of this, and it's only fair that I participate and engage back with you because you're putting all this effort to be here with us and to teach us new things as we learn.
I love that. I love that. And think about how much that says about the relationship that you build with your audience. Thanks, Ricky. I saw that. Appreciate that. All right. Give Christopher and Leslie some applause. Woo! Love it. All right. So again, this entire session is a demonstration, right? But the whole point is here. I'll give you a couple recommended actions. All right, let me pull the screen back up. You see I'm just popping in and out. All right, so first, if you're going to use any music, keep embedded music volume low, because when you play music over the screen, it's much louder on their side, just through Zoom, I don't know why. Second, set up and share how the remote experience will go, or virtual, whatever word you want to use. But I told you, hey, we're going to use visual noise, we're going to use the chat box, we're going to use the breakout rooms. Tell them what's going to happen. Explain how to use the video, the mic, the full screen, all those, because they may have done it, they may have not, and we don't want to leave anyone out. I recommend gallery view to the top right so everyone can see all people. You cannot do that when there's a screen share, which is why I keep turning my screen share off so we all get to see each other, especially when we're talking to each other or participating in an activity. Stop the slide share, like I just said, for conversation so everyone sees everyone. All right, but the key insight here is this: people do exactly what you tell them and nothing that you don't. If you don't tell them to turn off their mic, they won't. If you don't tell them to go on mute, they might, but they might not. If you don't tell them to turn on their video, they're going to be shy and they might not want to. All right, so tell them exactly what you want to and be as clear and genuine and happy as you can. All right, so now the delivery. How do we pull it together? How do we actually get in front of Zoom and how do we use this, right? You got to be responsible for the energy that you bring to your life, to the experience. So again, I want to have another conversation with each of you. So I stop the screen share, open up gallery view on the top right. And some of you already know me. Many of you already know me. So think about this, the energy that you bring, which is something that Leslie was just saying, right? And Christopher, you were saying, like, we have to bring our intention to this and they're not going to do it if we don't do it, right? Mm-hmm. So you both kind of share the same idea. Think about what the energy is, the experience that you're creating for everyone else. Think about that. Because if you don't bring it, they won't. You're performing when you get in front of that camera. You gotta look at yourself. We call ourselves educational performers. It's an act. And now my act is in a 2x2 box. I've had smaller stages, but this is your performance. Have some fun. You heard my Mickey Mouse voice, right? Have some fun with it. So Jan, I'm gonna ask you to unmute yourself. And just for a quick moment, because we did talk about this, what kind of energy do you want them to bring to a virtual experience?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important because students who are logging in are probably already going to be low energy. And so you all need to portray some energy and some excitement for them, right? You are the one. And quite honestly, that's the same whether it's in person or remote. In person, we tell our orientation leaders that in many cases, you need to laugh louder, talk louder, it's sometimes I've said you need to make yourself look ridiculous in order to have our students feel comfortable, right? I have to say over the years, my orientation leaders are less and less willing to look ridiculous, and that's okay, I get it. But realistically, your energy and your enthusiasm needs to really draw out the folks in the experience. If you all noticed, and I don't know if you did, when you first entered into this experience after you got out of the waiting room, anybody remember what was happening? Joe right away was smiling, welcoming, using your names, right? He set the tone from the start. Look at those gleaming whites. He set the tone right from the start and kind of brought you in and engaged you, right? Let's say you all logged in and Joe was just waiting for it to start and it hasn't started yet. So he's there with, just kind of like hanging out, we're not starting yet. So clearly I'm not doing anything, right? It sends a message. So we really want you to pull in that energy and really be present in this experience.
Love it, Jan. I love the examples, the whole story, pulling it all together from way in the beginning. Perfect. Some applause for Jan.
Woo, Jan.
Love it. All right. Everyone knows we're going until 6:30 tonight, by the way. I just want to check.
Yeah.
Kidding. I'm kidding. Approximately 5:15. So remember this. You're on stage, okay? You are. If you were going to do this in person, you're just doing it virtual. You're still on stage. This is your platform, right? It just happens to be virtual. It happens to be on the other side of a computer, right? So since you're on stage, you have to set up your studio. We call it your studio. It's not your bedroom. It's not your kitchen. Call it your studio so you go in with the right mindset to set that up. I'll give you an example. How many of you are familiar with John Krasinski and Some Good News that he put out for about 8 weeks, a couple weeks ago? Right, put your hand up if you're familiar. All right, a lot of us are. John Krasinski is on a TV show right now, but he was famous for The Office. So I just want to show you a little bit, and I want to give you some time to work on your studio. A beautiful front stage looks ugly backstage. Nobody can see what's on the other side of your computer, so whatever you need to do to make it look good and sound good, they won't know. This is all that matters. This frame, this shot right here, right? So that's what his other side of the computer looks like. That is sloppy, sloppy, John. But you know what? It doesn't matter because it looks great when he's in front of the camera. And all of it's done on purpose. So you see, he's got a window on one side of his face, so he put a light on the other side of his face so he's not in shadow, right? On purpose, intentional. I want you to think about light in your space. He's got some sort of branding, the SGN logo that I'm guessing his kids painted for him. You see, I've got branding on my shirt. When you're presenting, when you go to your orientation meetings and you do the topical events and all that, put something in the back that says, I go to St. Peter's. Put on a shirt, have a water bottle, have a pennant, hang something, let them know, right? And then you'll see all of this other stuff that you know he put there on purpose, right? On purpose. So think about what is in your frame, what's in the background of your shot. So here, you take a look at it. There's that light, like I said, that shines on the right side of his face because he's got the window on the other side. It is held up on the top, which is really funny, top of a whole bunch of reams of paper. It doesn't need to look pretty, it just has to work, right? And why is paper funny? Because the office was a paper, you know, the paper selling company at Dunder Mifflin, right? So you see there's also paper on his laptop. He raised his laptop so it'd be at eye level, so he's not looking down at people like this, right? And he doesn't have his head down here like this. This is not where you want to be presenting or performing. You don't want it to look like this. You also don't want the light to be behind you because you know what happens? It gets creepy. That's right. So do your best to have the light in front of you, okay? And then don't worry about messes and tangles and cords. So here's a couple of recommended actions. Write these down, remember these. Then we're going to go into a breakout room for a couple minutes where you get to make a couple small adjustments to your studio, all right? So first, set up your studio and the settings in advance. You don't want to be doing this 5 minutes before you start. I was here logged in, ready to go at 3:15. We didn't start till 3:50. Why? Because you never know what's going to happen. Just get ready. The first time I set it up, it took about 45 minutes. Every time thereafter, it only takes 5 minutes, right? Because you just do the same thing you did the first time, but it takes time to figure it out. So make sure for computer and internet, you've got some sort of stable connection and close all the other apps on your computer so that they don't hog space, right? So you want Zoom to have the ability to do this for you. For your venue, you want a private and controlled space as much as you possibly can with as few distractions as possible. I know I have a dog and that dog barks at every single thing. So as soon as that dog starts barking, if I'm presenting, I'm gonna tell people, that's my dog and here's what's going on, right? We're human, it happens. But to the best of your ability, no distractions, a private and controlled space, which it looks like most of you are already in. Or if you're not, nobody's walking behind you and you told them not to. For your background, no windows, no mirrors, no reflections, no lights or doors. Right, because it becomes really distracting for them, for the other person on the other side who's watching you. For your lighting, have that source in front of you, not behind you, and definitely not overhead because then it casts a shadow. And again, you're gonna look creepy. For your video settings, make sure HD is selected in Zoom. Sometimes you have to turn that on. Make sure the video is about face level. So my camera right now is at my chin, so you can see this part above me and this part below me. Right? That's my frame. You want to be about arm's length from your computer. I could just about touch your faces. And you want to have what's called headroom. So headroom is the couple inches right above your head. Right? So I see some of you are already making these adjustments. I love it. Keep trying it. For audio, test it in advance. And if you have the ability, have some carpet or fabric that counters the echo that you have in your room. And then final prep, check your face. Because if you were eating right before it, you don't know what's on your face. I mean, I know I got that on my neck, right? But check your face, get some water for yourself, okay? Have a clock, so you know what time it is, and do some stretches because you're gonna be standing in the same spot for an hour. but definitely we recommend standing up. And then let us know what tech you need. So Jan and I were talking, and Ricky the other day, and we were thinking, hey, if some of you are in need of some sort of light source because you don't have one or can't find one, you can't grab a lamp from somewhere else in your space. By the way, if I do events at night, there's the lamp that goes on my desk. I just put it right on top of my desk, right? It moves. So let us know what tech you need. If you're like, hey, I do not have any good lighting whatsoever, let Jan know and we'll see what we can do. All right? So take a screenshot. I hope you're taking some notes. I want to give you a couple minutes to actually do this in a breakout room, and then we'll wrap up. All right? Good stuff. Any questions or thoughts? All right. So I want you to work on right now what you can is what's in your background. Do you have the right lighting? And do an audio check. Give everyone a chance to do that. And we're going to set up our studio. I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. They will be different breakout rooms than they were before because I want smaller groups. So each of you can just kind of work with each other and have the ability to just, you know, it's just two or three people working with each other. All right. So I've recreated all these rooms and we've got 2 or 3 people in each. Take about 5 minutes and give some suggestions on, hey, it looks like you've got some light over there. So maybe you could turn your computer this way and it looks a little bit better. So take a few minutes. The littlest matters. We'll practice now. And then of course you've got time over the next week to find a really great studio space. So I'm going to open all those rooms. I'll give you a couple minutes. We'll come back and we'll start wrapping up. 3, 2, 1. And then it was just me. If you can hear me, I'm stretching. We are coming back.
Yeah.
I see that neck move, Ricky. I saw that. You do that way better than I do. So does Justine. All right. So let's see. Do we have some better spaces? We got some good ideas here.
Yeah, I have a ring light, so I'm kind of like.
Oh, you fancy pants.
Yeah, a little fancy, you know. The settings down, then it gets high. Switch it up like that.
Now,
Light, timid.
there you go, Ricky. Hey, who's got the smoke detector that needs a battery that gets replaced? Yara, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, get that done. Get that done. You don't want that beeping next week during your meetings.
That's crazy.
What, that we can hear it? Of course we can hear it. You can hear it, right? All right, we are all back, and hopefully you picked up at least 2 or 3 things that you can do to better your space. The last thing that I want to say about that really is please do your best to your ability to stand. Why? Because when you sit down, where does your energy go?
Down.
Down, right? So stand up so you can bring the energy
Up.
up. All right, fantastic. You want to be able to set up your stage, right, based on what people are going to see, not how you feel. Don't worry about how you feel. Set your stage based on how the audience sees it and hears it and views it. All right. So, like I said, we're going to wrap up over the next couple of minutes here to get done by 5:15. So how do you make orientation a want to, not a have to? Tap your head, say you got to have the right mindset.
Gotta have
All right, so you want to know where you're at, and you want to know where your participants are at, right? So all the first year students, the families who are coming in. Then you got to have the skill set. Everyone say skill set.
Skill set.
Right, so you got to be able to debrief and have conversations and engage people. Then you've got to learn about the delivery mechanism, the design, and then the delivery. So the design is learn, say, do, reflect. Everyone say learn.
Learn.
Say.
Do.
Reflect. Notice you're saying it like I am, and I didn't even ask you to. All right, so you want to design it in that way that it meets people where they're at. And then you've got to use the technology to your advantage, right? So you've got breakout rooms if you're able as an orientation coordinator, but otherwise use the chat box to keep people engaged, have conversation, visual noise, things of that nature. And of course, focus on the delivery aspect to make sure that you can really engage people, but you got to set up your studio. Set up that space because they're going to see you, and you are one of the first experiences that they're going to have as they come to St. Peter's. So make sure that they're getting a great experience watching you, because you are everything. You're it right now. You're going to be it. So let's take a moment to think about your highlights, your insights, and your actions. I'm going to go silent for a moment, and I just want you to think, what was your highlight? What did you really take away from this? What's an insight, something that you really want to use, or what's a specific action that you want to take? And you'll see at the top, I have the icon for the chat box. So I want you to take a moment, take 15, 20 seconds, just think about your highlights, your insights, your actions, and start typing those into the chat box when you are ready. Put a couple of those answers in that chat box as you are thinking, and let's see what we've got so far. All right. Ashley is saying turn in-person interactions into Zoom interactions. That's right, what we were doing, but it's an interaction. That's the key word. I love it. Leslie, I learned that my studio is important for me. Uh-oh, they're coming in so quickly I can't see them. And I'm excited to work on that. Yes, I love that. I specifically redesigned this office about a year ago, knowing that I'm going to need it for whether it's going to be recordings or whatnot. And who knew? Now I'm using it for live experiences. Shania, the highlight is the interactions. So if you appreciate it, guess who else will appreciate it, right? Those participants. Justine, to get hand motions involved as responses. I love that, and I use them too. Armin, the involvement that we had through this Zoom call. I'm going to go through a couple of these real quick, but I want you to read them along too. To know that people are listening, the way you interact with people. I want to use that, bring the energy so students feel engaged, being able to connect and interact, motivate and involve, the importance of engaging with everyone. Again, similar themes, right? Bringing the right energy for the group, creating a safe and open, energetic environment. Changing your thinking changes your experiences, right? Whoop. Fun. Interaction is key. I love that. Thank you everyone so much for sharing. As we wrap up here over the next 30 seconds or so, did you have some fun?
Yes.
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 Did you learn some stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
You feel empowered that you actually transform the way you do Zoom interactions. You feel a little bit more confident in that ability too.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I love it. Now, we typically would do an evaluation, and I'm going to ask you to do this when we're done here, because I promised we'd end at 5:15, and it's 5:15. So please do us the favor of going to, you'll see it at the top of the screen, www.ceeval.com. So C for collegiate, E for empowerment, eval, short for evaluation.com. So it's www.ceval.com. Thanks, Ricky, for typing that in there. Please do that as we wrap. But I do want to pass this back over to Jan and Ricky as we wrap here. Start on time, we end on time. ceeval.com. Otherwise, you folks are awesome. You're going to do some great stuff. Just a little bit here and there goes a long way. So keep doing what you're doing. Jan, back to you.
Thanks. Thanks so much, Joe. So everybody, thanks for participating. As mentioned, if you need anything, as you're checking out your studio, if you could let me know as soon as possible, because more than likely what I'll do is an Amazon order for a light or something like that. But we need to make sure that they get to you before next week. Ricky, is there anything you want to say to the team about this or training tomorrow?
I just want to say thank you so much for your focus, everyone. Thank you, Joe. Can we just give it up a round of applause for Joe, please? Thank you for all being here. I know it's hard. It's not easy to stay on a call for 3 hours, but we did it. We have 3 more days of it. So please bring your engagement, your fun, your energy tomorrow at 2, okay?
Let's do it. Have an awesome afternoon, folks. I'm going to go back to digging a pool.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Take care.
Bye.